Hello, welcome to a video with a Stephanie.
Hello.
As you can tell, I have a Steph. I will of course leave a link to a Steph down below. But we are here today to put each other in pain. Just what we love. We are going to be reading each other 1-star reviews of our favourite books. Because doesn't that just sound like a really good way to spend time together?
How else are you going to spend a Monday afternoon?
Just fun. Fun all round. So we've gone through Goodreads and looked at 3 of each of our favourite books and found a few 1-star reviews to read to each other for shits and giggles, really. Yeah, we have also filmed a video for Steph's channel, but as I say, I will link Steph down below so you can go over there and see the fun we had there rather than the pain we're gonna have here. With that being said, we should probably just get right on with it. Do you want to start? Okay, I'm not ready. So this isn't like a game or anything, we know what the books are, we just haven't heard the reviews, so it's just pain and reaction.
Yeah. This first one isn't going to be that exciting for me either because it's one I really enjoyed it. It's Jade's favourite book, but I really enjoyed it. So it's Traitor's Blade by Sebastien de Castell, which is the first in the Greycoat series.
My favourite series ever.
And I've just finished the series and really loved it, so I 5-starred the series. So this was actually, they've 1-starred it, but it was DNF'd at 40%, and it starts off with, at some point you just have to ask yourself, is it worth the stress to read on?
Yes!
Traitor's Blade, unlike most adult high fantasy, is written in conversational first person. I figured that this would be the case with this, to be fair. Falco talks to the reader quite frequently. That wink wink nudge nudge style is very easily strays into annoying territory. I really liked it.
It's one of the things that I like about the book, but when I recommend it, it's one of the things where I'm like, the writing style will either make it or break it for you. Like, you'll either like the fact that every now and then he just goes, you're probably going to wonder what I'm going to do now.
I love that bit.
I love that. It's, yeah, okay, carry on.
And that's exactly what it damn did. I read so many telling, not showing, and you might have expected me to do X, but I did Y scenarios. I was ready to grab a hatchet and finish murdering the lot of them. That's very dramatic.
It's very dramatic. My poor boys.
Partially because of the writing. I didn't give a crap about anything. Not Falco, not his friends whose friends I've already forgotten, not their bloody honour or their plight. I can't read the last bit,
say that.
But at the very end it says, because I am so fucking tired.
My poor babies.
So rude.
I mean, I feel like that person is already annoyed with the writing style and therefore then having a go at the characters.
Yeah.
But I say this about Traitor's Blade and Sebastien de Castell in general, because it's the same in Spellslinger. If you don't like that tone, like where the narrator will break down that fourth wall and chat to you, then you won't like it.
Yeah.
But if you like that and find that endearing and kind of like the wit that comes along with it, then you'll love it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a 1.5 star. I haven't read through all of this, so it's...
Oh, okay.
I honestly can't believe I just finished reading the same book that everyone else has. Seriously, it's a book it's been a while since I've been so desperate to finish a book because the mere thought of going back to this story almost made me want to not read anything ever again. Why didn't you DNF it, you might ask me? Well, I simply had to read until the end because despite all the evidence pointing to the contrary, I was still hoping there might be some event at the end that would turn the book around for me and at least make me want to pick up number 2. That never happened.
But number 2 is so good.
They then go on to go through the basics of the book. Everything the characters needed to survive the most ridiculous odds just happened. Because fate, I guess. That's literally the explanation we're given after the 7th or 8th time a character saved their asses by showing up out of nowhere. I was willing to let it slide the first 2 or 3 times, but when your entire plot relies on the stupidest coincidences, and when even your characters recognise that, I don't find it interesting, I find it dumb. There's a name for it and it's lazy writing. Oh no.
Get out. We don't like your opinion. We don't want your opinion. It's not lazy writing.
No.
It's...
This goes on, but I can't say any more because it's spoilery.
Okay, well we don't want spoilers.
Yeah.
We can't do that. Don't listen to them. Read the book.
So yeah, this is the same reviewer. So yeah, I was really expecting to at least enjoy a little bit of the book, but it was a nightmare for me. I really don't recommend it because even if you enjoy reading loads, and I do mean loads and loads, of fight scenes, the plot was honestly preposterous.
Are you joking? No, it was not. That plot is so good. Like, the plot of the first one is good alone. When you then combine it with the plot of the whole... Fuck off.
Content you came for.
I disagree.
Okay. This looks like it's another DNF. It's a 1 star. I make it a practice not to review books that I haven't finished, but I'm going to make an exception with this one. This book grabbed me from the first few chapters. I laughed out loud as parts. The punch, pull, slap scenario was a riot. This book was basically non-stop action, which I love. But there was something that happened that chilled me to my very core, and I won't move past it. I refuse to read the rest of the book, and it squeals something, and its sequels, something I was looking forward to doing.
So this person didn't like the brutality. They liked the action, they liked the fun, and again, this is something I say about the Greatcoat series. If you want that action-packed, fun that they seem to describe in the first one, read Spellslinger.
Yeah.
Because Greatcoats is gruesome. There are horrible things that happen. There are some graphic scenes. And I feel like this just wasn't right for that person.
No, it was
Whereas they liked... Yeah, I thought it was. Because that's the kind of the point that they DNF'd it, is when that happens. Yeah. Like, yeah. If you don't want the brutality and the graphic background information to why this story is happening, don't read it. I get that though. Like, I can understand that just really isn't their cup of tea.
Yeah.
But that person should try Spellslinger.
Been told.
Yeah. But I can't be mad at that, I guess, because I understand. But that's a you thing, not the book thing.
I think a lot of the 1 star reviews will probably be similar to that. It will be a case of, oh, it was too brutal, or...
too gruesome, too graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is. Like, I will tell you, if you're not sure about it and you don't want graphic, awful things, don't read it. Still one of my favourites.
Same. Next one is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab.
We're going in for my absolute faves.
I haven't read this one.
For some Seb and some Schwab.
Okay, I need to be careful with this because it's very, very long-winded. So it goes on about explaining the Four Londons and who Kell is and stuff. The premise of A Darker Shade of Magic is interesting. It's not wholly unique, but it's intriguing and has elements of being something that had extreme potential, but unfortunately, the severe lack of plot, the abysmal world building, and the utterly annoying characters really let it down.
I'm sorry, abysmal world building? Abysmal world building? Did you read the book?
The Four Londons, and I expect there are more, was the most wonderful thing about the book, and sadly, the only thing. This is a wonderful concept, but it was never explored fully. I acknowledge this book is the first in a series, but we barely scratched the surface of any of these worlds in the 400-page long book.
Are you kidding?
I haven't read it.
Barely scratched the surface of these 4 worlds. So heavily disagree with that, but okay.
My main gripe would be the world building, or total lack thereof, but similarly, and coming a very close second with the characters, underdeveloped, obvious, and annoying are the only 3 words to describe them. Kell was the most developed, but even when he was rather obvious at times, though some of his decisions were conveyed well. I cannot bring myself to write about the pathetic character of Lila, who I hope...
Only my favourite character of all time from anything. I love Lila.
Who I hope dies horribly at some point in the series. The other characters, though, build at main were background at best. We got no sense of any of them except perhaps Rye, but even he was underdeveloped.
How dare you wish death upon Delilah Bard? I love Delilah Bard. I acknowledge that she is a controversial? I don't know if that's the word I mean. Like, she splits an audience. I get that. But I adore her. I think she's a brilliant character. I think she's very well developed. I think she's very deep and complex. But, fine.
Okay, next one. As a pre-warning, this is not a kind review.
Well, you can stop right there then.
been sitting here all morning thinking about what to do about this book. As stated previously, I just don't have the patience for Lila, but it wasn't, and I am still not sure about whether I am officially DNFing this or I'm just putting it on hold. Everyone who saw my status updates for this novel knows that I wasn't really enjoying myself reading it, but I wasn't ready to write it off just yet. But I realised just now that I don't want to pick this up. I actually don't really care if I don't know the ending. When I put this on hold a week ago, I put the dust jacket back on, and that should have been sign number 1 that I'd written this book off. Here's the thing with Victoria Schwab. She has talent, there's no doubt about it. She can write, but for me, I find everything she writes dull as hell. There are a couple cases. Vicious, This Savage Song, I loved Vicious.
I love Vicious and This Savage. This has become like a triple blow.
Where the slow writing was alright because her characters are so perfect, but every other book I've read... Okay, so they enjoyed Vicious and V. Schwab. But every other book I've read, which I've actually tried everything she's published except The Near Witch, has been dreadfully boring. There's something missing in her novels for me, some sort of life and excitement that I just am not finding between the pages of these novels. That being said, I think Lila is the sole reason I couldn't do this book. I just want her to violently swear. No, I just want to violently swear about her for this entire review. But rather than do something that immature, I will just say she's the most insufferable, childish, spoiled, stuck-up, conceited piece of crap I have ever read about. I am one who did not see the similarities between this and Mistborn, but I seem to hate Lila about the same amount I hate Vin.
So that makes so much sense.
So it's almost fitting.
I love Delilah and I love Vin, and there are similarities between them, 100%.
Okay.
Very much.
So that
but if they hated Mistborn and they hated Vin, their opinion means shit all. Like, that's fine. No one cares. You have no taste. Fine.
Okay. 1.5 stars. Another reviewer mentioned that this book felt like a play for a movie deal. It does, big time. It feels like a terribly written action movie. Oh, is there any other kind? One-dimensional characters, a somewhat interesting concept, action scenes with just enough dialogue in between to keep pushing the plot along. The author is primarily a YA fiction writer, which doesn't mean she can't make the leap to fantasy or adult fiction, but she certainly doesn't feel ready for it. I like well-done YA fiction on occasion, but as I looked through Schwab's work...
What did she write before Darker Shades? Vicious.
That's definitely...
Which is adult.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure This Savage Song, which is her only YA, was written after A Darker Shade. I mean, I don't know all publication order, I could be wrong there, but I think you're wrong?
I think you're wrong? What were they saying?
Not ready for it.
I like well-done YA fiction on occasion, but as I looked through Schwab's work, there was nothing that I would ever pick up as an adult reading YA. Teenagers don't necessarily notice their YA fiction isn't fully fleshed, that the characters lack depth, but writing for adult changes the game a bit. Yeah, and then they just kind of go on. At about 100 pages, I looked at how many pages I had gone by and I thought, whoa, I feel like I should know more about the characters in the world. At 200 pages in, I was completely disinterested in the characters and the unoriginal storyline. I won't be continuing the series as I have little faith that this would improve over time. Not impressed.
I'm just not ready for adult fiction. That...
Lies. You lie. Okay.
Alright.
Howl's Moving Castle. You ready?
I love this book so much.
I gave it 2 stars.
You can get out.
I don't get what's so great about this book.
Everything.
I found it boring.
Fuck off.
The characters are meh.
Fuck off.
And to be honest, how when Jones draws out a storyline over 200 pages when they could cover 100 is completely pointless. And did I mention boring?
It's whimsical. Atmospheric.
I was interested in the introduction of Sophie and her sisters, but then the Witch of the Waste turns... Oh, is that a spoiler?
No.
Turns Sophie into a 90-year-old lady, and it just becomes boring. She joins Howl's Moving Castle and becomes a cleaner, thereafter making a contract with the Fire
way
Demon.
To make it sound boring. She doesn't join them to become a cleaner. She just cleans it because it's a mess while she's... That's just her employment.
And then nothing interesting happens for ages. Just descriptions of the castle, some banal talk, and Hal himself, who is just one big drama queen. Seriously,
accurate, but funny. He is a drama queen, that's the point.
Seriously, one of the worst popular books I've ever read. It was just dull. I have no comprehension for the fans of this novel. Nothing appeals.
Lack of taste.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
This is going to be a quick review because I don't want to waste any more time on this book. I honestly can't believe the high ratings this has. The characters are whiny, self-centred and unlikable. There was no character development, I didn't care what happened to anybody, and I could not find a point to the story. The whole thing was momentous, uneventful and extremely dull.
Did they just call Howl unlikable?
I kind of liked Howl, actually.
Precisely. Like, even you didn't like the book, and Howl is all of the characters. I mean, he's whiny, yeah, because he's a drama queen. But he's likeable. We love him anyway.
And then they just basically go on and do a quote, basically. It should not have taken me almost a week to read this. I had no desire to pick it up again. To sum it up, I found it to be completely stupid. Should have DNF'd it.
Wow.
And the last one, I hated this book. I still hate it. It was so terrible. I shiver every time I think about how terrible it was. Why do so many people like this book? It's one of the worst books I've ever read.
The worst book I've ever read. If that's the worst book you've ever read, you've had a really good life of reading really good books.
There's almost no plot, no character development, and the whole story is very confusing, pointless and stupid as a whole. Hal creates all sorts of drama with all of the women he sees. His apprentice Michael creates his own batch. And then suddenly Sophie's sisters are thrown into the mess. Goes on about problems popping up and then being resolved really fast. The Studio Ghibli movie is fantastic, my favourite movie of all time, but don't read the book. Well, unless you've watched the movie and you want to know more of Hal's backstory. In that case, there are some things you might find interesting, but other than that, don't read it. Just don't.
I so wholeheartedly disagree. If you've watched the movie and you love it, read the book. One, because even if you don't love the book, you'll get that nostalgia for it anyway. But two, you get so much more story. It's brilliant. Fuck off.
I read the book and gave it 2 stars. I think it was the slice of life side of things that I didn't like for me, that I found it just a little bit too slow. But overall, I could understand that I liked the characters and I do want to watch the movie. Despite the fact that I wasn't a huge fan of the book, I want to watch the movie.
It's a brilliant movie. It's a brilliant book. Anyway.
Now it's my time for terror.
Now it's your turn. Your reviews aren't as long as I think those.
Oh, good.
A lot of these are kind of snappy. But we're starting this off with Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And so many of the reviews for this were like the same for 1-star reviews. So, you know what screams romance? Getting fingered in a public park.
Sure.
That and the fact that the whole romance was fueled by him wanting to fuck her is why I only gave this 1 star. It was just boring.
Okay.
That one-liner. Just getting fingered in a park.
Fair.
Oh, that was it. That was the review.
Oh, okay. They are really short.
Yeah. They were the ones I was finding funny, though. Next one. I wanted to like it. I like the premise of a love story focusing on an unconventional heroine and not skinny, yay, woman of colour with fibromyalgia. There was humour, likeable characters. But, please, can we have plot for more than 3 pages before we get into more detailed erotica? Maybe I'm just a middle-aged fuddy-duddy, but I simply couldn't stomach it. There wasn't enough substance.
It's a romance book. How much substance do you need?
So many of these reviews were just like, too pornographic. Too much sex.
Oh my god.
Too pornographic.
It's adult romance.
It's erotica.
Yes.
And then the last one for this one. I went for really short ones for this. Cringy. This is not relatable. In real life, this romance would have ended in ghosting. Like, there's little love scene and then they're touching each other. It's like, baby, that's kind of a booty call. Also, using words like pussy or cock threw me off.
What are you vagina and penis?
What would you rather?
It's a fucking...
And then all in capitals. And after 1 month, they love each other? What the fuck?
Oh my god. Talk about cynical. Are you okay?
Oh, but so many of the reviews for Chloe Brown are just like this one-liner, like, oh my god, too much porn, way too much porn. to porn.
Don't be picking up adult romance
Porny.
if that's
Ew.
the case.
So yeah, there were some short and sweet ones.
Nice.
For Chloe Brown. Now we go to I Heart New York.
I feel like this
by
might kill
Lindsay
me a little
Kelk.
bit.
This was one of the smallest books in my collection, and for that reason I read it the night before I went on holiday. Quite frankly, I wish I hadn't bothered. The writing is terrible, cliché, and if there's any originality in the book, then I must have blinked and missed it. Rather than any form of detailed plot, we have details of designers. Was the writer trying for freebies from Marc Jacobs? Numerous descriptions of handbags and shops, etc. I think this is meant to be some sort of modern fairy tale. You too can move to New York and become a magazine writer, make great friends, and a makeover that turns you into a rich man magnate. Despite the fact that the reason the character went to New York in the first place was that she was cheated on by her fiancé. Spoiler? No. That she was cheated on by her fiancé, she then has no worries about dating two men at once. Overall, I was left with a sour taste in my mouth. It's amoral novels like this that help give chick lit a bad name.
No. That's just rude. I mean, she was cheated on. What's wrong with her then going out and dating two men at once? Men do it all the fucking time.
I mean, if they're just dates and they're not serious, then... Like, if it's literally just, like, a first date, like, we barely know each other sort of thing.
That was literally it.
I don't know, then.
That's just rude.
Didn't enjoy this. At all. So full of stereotypes of what women want and are engrossed by, apparently. Shopping, at the right brands, obviously. Drinking alcohol to have fun. Drinking coffee from the right coffee shop. And finding a mate. But then, what did I expect? It came in a magazine with the exact same content. The two things that annoyed me most were the constant brand name dropping and the fact that alcohol featured so much. In fact, every time the characters went somewhere and did something, except that once when it was a chocolate drink, which all women of course adore because chocolate. Shopping and ice cream are the pinnacles of women's civilization. Let's end then with a fitting quote for my above rant, and then it's a quote from the book. I couldn't call Jenny. She was having her big romantic evening with Jeff. I thought about ringing Erin or Vanessa, but I didn't really feel close enough to them. Instead, I did what any confused, angry girl would do when the shops were closed. I opened another bottle of wine, I took an entire chocolate cheesecake out of the fridge, and sat down in front of the TV. Sod the diet and pray this season will favour the smock.
How is that not relatable?
I mean, it is.
See?
Quite.
And you don't even read chick lit or romance.
I don't, no, but
that's relatable, right?
I mean, I wouldn't drink another bottle of wine because I don't drink wine, but I would eat an entire chocolate cake.
Right.
Quite happily.
See? It's so relatable.
Well, this person clearly has a thing against alcohol as well.
Clearly.
Like,
I was going to say, what's wrong with 30-odd-year-olds drinking alcohol? Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with people that don't drink alcohol. There's nothing wrong with people that do. It's obviously people that abuse that privilege. But 30-year-old, of course we go to the pub and have a drink with the girlfriends. I don't know.
I mean,
New York
we
City.
have a beverage, of an evening.
Exactly.
Okay, I've got a small one here just because I liked the closing line.
Oh, shit.
Worst book ever. Full of run-on sentences, and at one point a character said, Mondays are really bad for me. Laughable plot. If you like this, you have jelly for brains.
Mine must be all smush. Explains a lot.
Just smushed up jelly in there. Just wiggle wiggle.
I'm not being funny, but again, relatable. Mondays are bad for me. Not this Monday.
This is a great Monday.
Exactly. But Mondays in general, they're not great, are they?
It depends what you do for work, I suppose. Yeah. I just like jelly for brains.
So rude.
What was the last book I picked?
The Martian.
Oh, The Martian.
Yeah.
My screenshot didn't have the book in it. Right, okay. The Martian.
I might not find this one as funny. I find romance ones really funny, but...
Yeah, they were quite funny.
Yeah.
Right, 1-star review for The Martian. Thank God that's over. Everyone has been talking about The Martian, and I literally mean everyone. Since the moment I saw the cover and the raving reviews, I knew I had to pick it up. There's a reason people are talking about this book. I just don't fucking get it. I think I'm the only person on Goodreads to give this pile 1-star rating. I'm okay with that. It's a classic case of, it's not you, it's me. I wanted desperately to fit in with the Goodreads community and love the shit out of this book and start farting rainbows every time I saw the title. Unfortunately, I was not blessed with a science brain, and this book went far over my head. My brains were floating in outer space, waiting patiently to be brought back down. I think they're still up there somewhere, because I can't for the life of me understand why people find this book so awe-inspiring.
That's a really funny review. But also... I mean, I need to reread the book because it's been a while since I've read it, but I don't think it was that sciencey. I think they did a really good job of dumbing down the science in the book.
I feel like some of the other reviews might touch on that.
I feel like it did a really good job of dumbing the science down, which I think people appreciate when they're not a scientist reading the book. Watch the movie, you might like it better.
Next one. How can I say this to you? This is one of the most boring books I've ever had the displeasure of reading. I was really looking forward to reading this book. Everyone was so enthusiastic about it. I was saving it for myself as a little treat. By page 27, I knew I was in trouble. Here's the book. Log entry. I'm fucked. Oh wait, I have an idea. Science, science, science. Then if I science, 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 great! Insert lame joke here. Now repeat 1,000 times.
Inaccurate. But it's funny!
Apparently not.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. It's a funny book. Oh, I can't even really be... This isn't working out in my favour, is it? Because I think these quite funny.
I did pick funny ones, to be fair. I didn't pick the boring ones that are just people moaning. I picked ones that made me laugh. Okay, last one.
Okay.
This book is really embarrassing.
Oh no.
It's embarrassing for whoever wrote it, and it's embarrassing for the Goodreads community that nominated it Best Sci-Fi of the Year. Apparently, it's supposed to be Castaway meets Apollo 13, but it's actually Castaway meets Adam Sandler.
I wondered what you were banging on about him for.
The attempts at humour are cringeworthy. It reads like some 15-year-old boy's first attempt at writing, while his brain-dead girlfriend occasionally chimes in with suggestions straight out of her text message history. The protagonist was some sort of double negative Mary Sue, where he has to fail everything he tries at least once so the reader doesn't mistake him for being amazing at everything. But his knowledge of every kind of science off the top of his head is utterly unbelievable. The book is a series of log entries from his time stranded on Mars, except when all of a sudden it isn't. Sometimes we're back on Earth with the ragtag team of foul-mouthed, unlikable dingleberries tasked with figuring out how to get him home. And these are the moments that highlight just how bad this really is. The dialogue reads like a bad soap opera starring Johnny Bravo. So this book is also embarrassing for NASA, for the people who read this and thinks, that's how the people at NASA are. Worse still is Adam Sandler's complete lack of transformation as a character. No one is going to remain that sarcastic and annoying after months and years stranded on fucking Mars. But wait, you say, back in one of the Earth chapters, they say one of the reasons he was picked out for this mission was because of his ability to make a joke out of everything. Great, I make jokes about everything too, and I get pissed and moody when I'm stuck in traffic for 30 minutes. And yeah, that's who you want to be stuck in a cramped spaceship with for a year, an arsehole who can't take anything seriously. Good news, plebs. This book is simple enough for even you to understand. It overly explains everything and is perfectly redundant. 5 stars all round. Can't wait for Adam Sandler to finally get the Oscar he deserves.
Jesus Christ. That was a little bit more brutal.
It was a little bit,
yeah. First of all,
funny.
Yeah, but first of all, Mark Watney is a botanist, so he knows what the fuck he's doing. He's not on Mars because he's an idiot. Like, he's been recruited by NASA and he's been trained and he's got his degrees and stuff. He's a botanist. Second of all, he's on Mars on his own trying to grow potatoes. It's not going to go well the first time, is it? Like, he's doing it for the first time ever on a planet that nobody's ever lived on before. Like, I don't know, but you'd be complaining if it went right first time every time, wouldn't you?
That's what she said, yeah.
Yeah.
I just loved that she just kept calling him Adam Sandler.
Oh, I love that book.
Not a fan of Adam Sandler, though.
I love Adam Sandler too.
Should he have starred in that movie?
No. Definitely not.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that was that. I feel like yours was more funny.
At least it brought some cheery back in, though. Yours were like really...
Yeah.
They really
Take
went to
your
town.
opinions and shove them up your bottom. that was that. I hope that was entertaining for you. It was actually quite entertaining for us. It wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. It was alright. We can take a joke.
Yeah.
But you stick us in traffic for 30 minutes and we'll be pissed off. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you thought of these reviews down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Be nice.
Please be nice. But yeah, again, Steph will be linked down below so you can go and check out the video we did over on her channel. But we'll see you some other time. Bye!
Bye!